We got to work on our timing. Jesus Christ, we're not comedians. What is up, everybody? Jester here, and today we are finally launching the Silent Part podcast. This is something that I myself, Jester IRL, as one of your hosts, and Fortaelle, say hi, Fortaelle.
Hi, Fortaelle.
We've been talking about doing this for, at least a couple of years now. And I think it's important we give you context for the podcast so you guys understand where we're coming from with everything. We both believe that when people stop talking about big issues, that's when the real problems happen. This doesn't mean that you're going to agree with us or we're going to agree with each other or that we're going to agree with you. But what it does mean is we can sit down and have normal, logical conversation in an adult manner. At least that's the idea. Whether that happens or not, let's see how the comments go on this one. The bold play, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Exactly. We're going to be talking about a bunch of shit that we have no right to talk about. But, because we feel like joining the interwebs, we're going to talk about it.
So I think it's probably important that we introduce ourselves and just why we are unqualified to do this. I myself am a lifelong, basically restaurant employee cook. So you kind of understand where my humor might come from. Very sarcastic. I'm also a YouTube creator, very small channel, about almost 1,800 subs now. I also stream live on Twitch, mostly gaming. Back in the day, I used to make food videos where I took weird stuff, or I took normal stuff and turned it into weird stuff. Combinations that people wouldn't do, and then showed them how to do it. And that's me.
And I myself am also a long, unfortunate, as some may look at it, restaurant employee. I just can't get away from fucking shit. And I've also been making music for 20 plus years. And, I dabble a little bit in that area. I also dabble a little bit in YouTube content creation. Go follow the channel. Almost monetized. Pennies and things add up.
Did you mention that we're going to be making nerdcore videos this year as well?
Oh, yeah, that we are. SideQuest Studios. Go check out the first video over on Jester IRL's channel. It's a song we did about the game Long Dark. Very beautiful.
It is a really pretty song. And every time we do one, we learn a little something more about the editing and the pacing and all that good stuff. I think by the end of this year, we're going to have it down where we're making really good music videos. At least that's the hope.
And I just want to apologize, for my mouth not moving. Apparently I had a fucking stroke. No, that's just, shitty tracking and stuff. Because, that's how we do things around here.
That's animes. That's just all that is. Just anime. This is why I went to a PNG model.
The first topic that we're going to get into is a segment that we like to call Things Making Noise, which is just news from around the world, big hitting plot points, things that are going on around the world that got some people's feathers ruffled. And I feel like we really can't go into that segment this week without talking about the one thing that's been all over the news, and that is that lady that got shot by ICE over in Minnesota, I believe it was.
Yeah, Minneapolis.
Yeah. Oh, Minneapolis. Shit, that's right over where we've got a buddy of ours, Biggie from CTV Radio. You guys get a chance to go check out his stuff. So Minneapolis is just absolutely losing their shit right now over that incident. What's your take on it? Have you seen all the videos? I've seen the video from the ICE agent. I've seen the video from the wife of the lady that was driving the car.
Yeah,
and then I saw a like 2.5 minutes before that the incident actually happened from someone who was in a house across the street upstairs.
The one where she was dancing in the car. Yeah, I've seen that one too. Look, some other information has come to light here in the last couple of days. In 2020, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, signed into law signed into law and was passed by a Democrat legislature, a law that says when you use your vehicle to drive at an officer, they have the right to shoot. But apparently, Tim Walz has forgotten that he signed that law. To me, number one, this was completely avoided.
Oh, yeah. On both sides.
There was no reason for her to be there in the first place. Like, just period. Everybody's going to say, well, she had kids. The truth of the matter is she had custody of one of 3 children. And I've been through the legal system when it comes to custody. And I'm telling you, the custody system is rigged in the favor of the mother every time. And if she had lost custody of 2 of her 3 children, there's something behind that. There's been other posts that have come out with her rap sheet. It's fairly long. I'm not saying she's necessarily a bad person. People make mistakes. That's not what I'm getting at. It's just that I feel like people believe everything they see on the internet these days. Like, and people's opinion is formed way too early, way before all the facts are out. And I think that's a clear-cut case of what happened here. Did you know that under Obama, Bush, the second Bush, Clinton, and Biden, that there was 0 protests and over 2 million deportations each in their terms?
Really?
Yes. And yet with Trump, he's only deported about 1 million people, and there's been like, I don't know, 500 demonstrations and protests about getting rid of illegal aliens. Look, the fact of the matter is that's what this all boils down to is immigration. And the issue is when the first word is illegal, for any other American, that means you go to jail. You do something illegal, you go to jail. Illegal is illegal. That's the end of the story. Now, I think immigration needs to be reformed. I think there needs to be an easier path to citizenship that doesn't take 10, 12, 15 years. But at the same time, these people are living here illegally. And I'm not even going to get into because there's been nothing proven. There's been a lot of evidence presented, but nothing's been proven about fraud at this point, especially in Minneapolis with the daycares and stuff like that. But that's what this is all stemming around, was ICE is there to get rid of this. And people think they have the right to impede a legal operation.
Which is a crime.
Yeah, but you don't. Nobody does. Funny story, my brother ran from cops once. He got away as far as our house, which was, I don't know, a mile or so down the road. Dad marched his ass out and just gave him to the cops. Like, here he is. He's the one you're looking for. and I think different generations just do things different. I'm pretty sure that had I been the one that was in that car and I was shot, my dad would be telling the world he had no fucking business being there. I taught him better than that. And I'm all for everybody's right to protest, but here's what I don't understand is the left is screaming he should have just got out of the way. That's their biggest argument right now is he had time to get out of the way. Let's just take away the fact that this was a millisecond decision. You've got 1 millisecond to decide if your life's in danger. And that's the decision he made. I'm not saying it was the right one or the wrong one. I'm just saying that's the time frame. You can go down a slow frame by frame all you want. It doesn't change the fact that in that moment, it was a millisecond decision. My problem now is they're like, oh, well, the cop could have just moved out of the way. So does that mean if I'm trying to drive somewhere and you're blocking the street in a protest, that when I run you over, you should have just moved out of the way? Does that move the goalposts? Because that's exactly what they're saying.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's exactly what that does.
But it won't. And the narrative would change again. The goalpost would continue to move. And that's the biggest problem here is that there's no consistency. But to me, the right side is at least being consistent on what they're saying. Stop doing this shit. And then, the narrative with Renee Good went from she was panicked and then that got debunked. Well, she was trying to do a U-turn, which that was debunked. It was debunked. The shot came through the side window, which it didn't. It came through the front window. Granted, it was off to the right-hand side, but it was through the front window. And just each time something gets disproved, it's something else.
Well,
I mean, didn't have to call her a bitch after it was done.
From what I saw, the vantage points that I saw, which is what confuses me, because seeing the video from the ICE agent himself, you don't even hear the gunshot in the video. But the initial video I saw, you could see him in front of the car. He shoots almost point blank range right through the front of the windshield. And then as she's pulling off to the side, he fires 2 more shots through the driver's side window.
Yeah, I've had a little trouble seeing the other shots. I'm not going to doubt that they happened. I mean, the evidence is the evidence. But her window was down, number one, so there wouldn't be any broken glass.
Yeah.
The only thing I can tell you 100% I saw with my eyes was the first shot. And it was pretty much point blank.
Yeah, right up against the front windshield.
The point of the matter is she was given a lawful order to get out of the car. And she decided to not obey that and gun it. And this was the same guy, by the way, that had been dragged last year by a protester.
Well, and I've seen...
Some people are going to say, well, that he shouldn't have been out there because he's PTSD. That's possible.
I've seen some people call in actually for this lady's wife to be arrested for murder, because in the videos you can hear her wife telling her to gun it.
Drive, baby, drive. Yeah.
Yeah. So...
But look, the pearl clutching on this is ridiculous. Why is ICE filming with a camera? I ended up getting blocked by a guy because I'm like, where do you see a camera, or where do you see a phone? Because I thought it was body cam footage. Turns out it was a phone. And I told the guy, I'm like, oh, I'll delete the post. You know, no big deal. I said, I'm just glad that there was this angle so that it proves that the officer acted in self-defense. And immediately got blocked because I didn't agree with them. That's X in a nutshell. If you're not part of the echo chamber, you get blocked. And it's fine by me. I don't have to deal with their dumb shit anymore. But it's good for content, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, why is that even? Who cares? Who cares how the footage was caught? Who cares? The footage is there now. You know, I remember a time when the liberals were like, every cop needs body cam footage. Everything needs to be recorded. Look how that's aging.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, well, not like that. You know, it's like, come on, guys. Like, you can't have it both ways. If you stick to your guns and you believe what you believe, I've got nothing but respect for that. But you can't continually move the goalpost.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue with all of this and all the things going on in the world. It is, you know, look at Venezuela for a good example.
Yeah.
We go in with a pinpoint strike to get Maduro. Venezuelans are super fucking happy, right? Maybe not all of them, but there was tons of posts thanking the USA, thanking Trump, and yet liberal white women will come on there and tell Venezuelans they're wrong.
Oh, yeah. I seen a guy who was talking about it and being like, you know, it really blows my mind that, you know, a month ago, you people were out here on the street protesting No King's Day, and then we go and basically snatch up a king, a dictator from somewhere else, and you people are like, no, he needs to be free.
Yeah, not like that. It's consistency. It comes down to consistency, and there just isn't a lot of it on the left right now. Where they were promoting Hamas and a Palestinian state, they're now backing away from that too. It's like whatever narrative, they'll switch it. Whatever goalpost needs moving, they'll move it to where their point's the only valid point. And good luck having a normal adult, getting called the R slur, which I don't even think that's a slur. It's used on X all the time. It's
whatever. that word's just thrown around anymore nowadays.
But I mean, I tend not to use it because it's just, I don't need to use the word. I cuss like a sailor, but I don't generally throw words that I don't want to use around. And I think people do it just for rage bait nowadays anyway. So it's whatever.
Fucking everybody's racist nowadays. That's according to fucking everybody.
what was the line from The Incredibles? When everyone's super, no one is.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're
Something like
doing
that.
with racism and homophobia and all of those things. And it's like it's not how it works.
Not at all.
When you use words and overuse words, they lose their meaning. I told you earlier about the whole Nuremberg comment that I reported that X said was totally fine.
Yeah.
That was a new one to me. That was a new one to me. I saw a post that I was going to save, but to be honest with you, the threat level of it was so heinous that I'm like, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to report this post. Because the author of the post was calling for ICE agents to be, quote unquote, Nuremberg, which was one of the worst gas chambers in World War II during the Holocaust. Jewish people died. Many Jewish people died in those gas chambers. And even though X policy is you cannot, wish death or harm or anything like that in your posts, they still sent me an email back yesterday saying, yeah, we don't see anything wrong with the post.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
And it's like, at this point, I don't even know what to say to something like that. If going out there and sharing to whatever fan base or whatever followership you have and saying these people need to be gassed like Jewish people in World War II is not a direct threat or a direct wish of harm, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, and you can't get much more blatant than that.
In fairness, I've seen a lot of unhinged shit coming from the right too. And most of that stuff's still up. Most of that stuff is still up too. So when Elon says this is a ultimate free speech, I guess he wasn't kidding. Because I still think there's lines you don't cross. And, wishing people to die like the Jewish folks in World War II in these concentration camps, that's a line I'm not willing to cross. And it's whatever. Of course, there's people out there that deny all of those things. But it's the internet, man. Some people just, if they believe their anonymity is going to save them.
But you know what one of the biggest differences is that I see is there's nobody out there celebrating that this woman got shot.
Oh, there are. There's
I
people
haven't seen it.
There's people out there that are doing it, and it's under the guise of, well, we saw what you did with Charlie Kirk, so fuck you. Immediately the left starts calling for empathy. And I don't think either one of them needed to die. No, period. No. And I think that's probably the right take. The difference being Charlie was killed for political reasons, for political beliefs, and this woman died because she did something very stupid, which was not to submit to a lawful order. And one was completely preventable. The other one with more security could have been preventable. But look, Trump got shot, for God's sake. And you would think he's got the best security in the world, but somehow that shooter fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
So it's just a slippery slope. Like, my only issue with all of this is and it's never going to happen, and it's a pipe dream, but I just wish people were. I don't like it when goalposts continue to get moved. That's what
consistency is key. There's not a lot of consistency.
I have no problem with your opinion or your take. It's that when your take gets proven to be not accurate, the doubling down, and then oh yeah, but this happened. Oh yeah, but that happened. It's like, just be an adult and be like, you're not wrong. I kind of saw this one wrong. And there has been some post about that after specifically the ICE video got out. There's been some people that have come in and said, okay, it didn't look like, and this was something even I thought too, was it didn't look like he really got hit by the car. At worst, he got brushed. But then the ICE video, you can hear the thump. He got hit. Now, if the camera gets jostled, you can't really tell how hard it is. But I've seen posts from stuntmen that say that they have had, broken backs from being hit by a car at 3 miles an hour. This is coming from Hollywood stunt people. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But anybody that says that, oh, it was just moving 3 miles an hour, and then there's the idiots that are like, oh, we should have shot the tires. Yeah, because cars don't operate with a flat tire.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Because you can't still drive on the rim. That's
like you need to get off a cod.
We haven't seen
touch some grass.
900 fucking news videos of them chasing cars with sparks flying because they ain't got no tires. That
and they're still doing 80, 90 down the highway.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. But again, it's too much to ask for people to be consistent. There's and honestly, it all comes down to the mainstream media. If it wasn't for X, I probably wouldn't have known the truth about Venezuela for weeks, even if it was then. X was reporting on it in real time.
And that's how TikTok used to be when it came to news, honestly, which is why I feel like they did the whole, we gotta buy it because too much news is getting out there we don't want out there.
Now, look, I'm still of the school of thought that says TikTok ruined content creation.
Yeah.
It's anything over 30 seconds, and sometimes that's too much. It's just too much for people's attention span these days. I recorded a video yesterday that's 25 minutes long. We'll see how that goes. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that
plays out. Bold move, Cotton.
Look, it's a good tutorial video. I'm just saying that the audience that I'm going to reach with that one is probably okay with a 25-minute video. Whereas if I make something that's really poignant and it's, a 20-second short, it's probably going to blow up. Whereas to really explain the thing, I needed to spend 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes to explain it. That's going to do more. It's going to do a lot less views than that 20-second short where I'm doing one of these different, like, you remember the 1-minute recipes that I did?
Yeah.
That it would sound something like that, right?
Rage bait the fuck out of people. Any sort of just rage baiting the fuck out of people. That's seems to be the only way to get anybody's attention nowadays. And it's a little bit fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I've got zero reach on Twitter. I don't even try, or X, whatever. I don't even try. I'm not trying to get followers, but I recently had a post, may or may not come back up here in a little bit, that it ended up getting almost 600 likes in like a day. And I got a total of 2 followers out of it. That's the nature of shit. It's real easy to get people to click on something. It's another thing to get them to hit like, and then it's even harder to get them to follow or subscribe.
Yeah.
And in the world this divisive, my channel, I typically try to avoid stuff like this, where we're talking about sensitive topics. Because my channel is just meant to be fun and my hobby and, just useful information for people that are playing games for the most part. There may be some IRL content later this year. We'll see how that goes. But I don't even know how to word it. You can't please everybody.
Yeah, and well, the problem is there's just no gray area anymore nowadays. Everybody is 100%, or well, not everybody because we're not, but a lot of the planet nowadays is 100% black or white. There is no in between. If you don't see it my way, then you can fuck the right off, and that's the problem with society nowadays. And that's, again, a big reason why we decided to do this podcast, so that we can encourage people to come into our comments and have discussions with us. Maybe show us a different side of things, because we're not closed-minded. We look at both sides of the line. There is no black, white, solid, like, things need to be looked at. Things need to be observed. Things need to be, information has to have time to come out.
Well, the gray is where people grow on either side of an issue, whether it's left or right. That's not where people grow, because you've already made up your mind. The people that are willing to go into the middle and see that gray are the people that have a little more, I'm not going to say informed opinions, but they have a little more wiggle room, because they're willing to at least listen. And I do want to make this warning too. You guys are more than welcome to come in and comment, and we welcome that completely. But what we will not tolerate is anything that is not decent talk. We'll have a conversation with any of you guys, but it needs to stay on an adult level. The minute that it devolves into somebody calling people names, well, we're not going to tell you what's going to happen. Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that it is happening, but we're just going to remove you from the channel, and you'll still be able to see us and post, and then you're not going to get interaction because not even we are going to be able to see your comments anymore. That's just the way that it's going to work. Keep it respectful, and that's it. You don't have to agree with this. You don't have to agree with the people in the comments, but we require everybody to be respectful. That's the end of the story.
Have a little fucking common human decency. You know, even if you don't like somebody, treat them with fucking respect, because that's how it should be.
And we're not these fucking LA Click IRL streamers that are out here trying to farm drama. That's not what we're doing. To me, the most dangerous time in the world is when people stop talking, when people stop having conversations.
Yep.
And I think that was actually something that Charlie Kirk had said, that when everything goes quiet and there's no discourse between the two sides, that's when things get dangerous. And I firmly believe that. I think that was a good quote. Now, say what you want to about him. I think he should have probably been debating people that were a little bit older, but he was giving a free speech platform to everybody. He would say what he wanted to say, and then he would allow people to come up and say what they wanted to say. And he would rebuke that, and then they could rebuke it. And it was a good system. And they shot him for it. You know, a lot of people online are like, you know, with this one in particular, with Renee Good, they're like, you know, a lot of people are going overboard on their posts and shit, saying things like, we told you, you shot the nice one. And again, I don't think that's helpful in any way, shape, or form when people are that divisive. So, but hey, man, you can't win them all, right?
So that's the you know, the big thing that's making noise this week, and it makes me think of another one of our segments, which is meme of the week, because this one I'm gonna show you here is about how I feel like the fucking, at least the United States, if not the whole world, is right now, is why I picked this meme. So it's
oh my
it's
God,
a little bit of like dark humor funny.
I didn't even go political for my meme this week.
See, I didn't go political either.
I went humor.
Check this out. This is what I feel like the world is right now. A building on fire with no water, and instead of searching for water, this is what people are doing. Let's just throw dirt on it. Throw rocks at it. Surely it'll go out. Let's just throw some shit at it.
Used to tell me to do when I get a skin knee. Go rub some dirt on that shit.
So that's my meme of the week. We have no water.
I went with a funny.
What do you got?
Hang on, let me bring it up before you put it up there. Okay. I don't even know if I need to explain this.
Adorable little kids.
My wife picked their outfits today, and she didn't understand why I was laughing.
Hold on, zoom out. Blew it up, and I see like just their faces. All their outfits before, but now I just, there you go. Nana, Batman.
Now, for those that don't understand, the meme of the week. That's pretty good, right?
That's good. That's good.
The meme of the week is a competition each week, and we're going to track this. We want you guys to come in the comments. Again, keep everything on a good level. Talk about whatever you want to, and we will respond. But we also want you to vote on meme of the week. Who had the better meme for the week? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win.
I'm just saying, I might have to just cast my vote for yours because that's so good.
I saw this one and go, yeah, I don't have to keep looking anymore. This is mine.
Nana, Batman.
Yeah. And the wife picked out the outfit, and she didn't understand why I was laughing. It's too good. It's too good. And sometimes, look, and there's a reason why we wanted to put this segment next to the other one is because sometimes you've got to have that little bit of a humor break, right? So I think meme of the week is going to be one of those deals that we do every week, and I'm going to try to keep it somewhat humorous. It may be a little deeper seated sometimes, but it's always going to be on the funny side of things. I think that's what it should be meant for, at least in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, I like yours just fine.
But it's not as good as Nana Batman.
How could you do this? Like, obviously this was staged.
Oh,
right?
shit.
But like the way that it's worded makes it look like it could have happened to anybody, and it's just hilarious. I absolutely adore this type of thing. And look, man, I had a Facebook account with a shit ton of followers, and the only reason was for the meme. I'm always going to be okay at finding a meme each week. That won't be a problem. I have, of course, got rid of Facebook, but
yeah, fuck the book of face for sure.
It's a cesspool. I mean, X is just as much a cesspool.
And speaking of cesspools, what's on the drama alert for this week? What are you feeling all the drama out over there on X?
We'll pull my screen down so I can bring it up. All right.
What's got people buzzing over there? Is it the VTubers again?
Oh, brother, if it wasn't for VTubers, I would just have nothing to say about anything. Like, honestly, the VTuber community is ridiculous, in my opinion. But this one doesn't necessarily. It's kind of in the VTuber sphere, but it's not exactly in the VTubers. So you can bring it back up now. And I'll have to show you guys the picture. This is former FaZe Lacy. And I think everybody knows, if you've watched my channel, I'm a big fan of Neuro and Evil and Vettel. I consider myself to be a member of the Swarm, which is their community, because I think it's an amazing project using AI. And they're doing it in a different way. It's being trained ethically on Twitch chat. And I think it's just a really, really interesting way to go about doing this when it comes to AI. It's not, stealing data and creating art that causes all kinds of other fucking problems, which I'm sure we'll touch on at some point in one of these episodes. But Lacy doesn't like the use of AI as a streamer. He thinks that this thing just runs on its own, has zero programming, and as a matter of fact, he's almost put it, and this is kind of putting words in his mouth, but you can tell by the comprehension level that he thinks it's a ChatGPT plugin, which
is far from it.
Far from it. I think you would agree it's one of the most advanced AIs you've probably even seen.
Oh yeah, that is insane.
Now, the other thing is there's a whole team of humans that work behind the scenes on this project, whether it be the music side of things, or whether it be just with the art or the designs or the 3D stage that they just unveiled a while back. There's a whole team of people that go into this. And he thinks it's a ChatGPT plugin. He thinks that he can go to ChatGPT and say, make me a Neurosama, and then it can take over his stream for him. Now, the problem is I'm okay with a different take on, the Neuroverse as it is. I'm okay with that. That it's okay to be like, hey, I don't like that. That's not what streaming is to me. That's a valid and fair take, right? The problem is that after he went off on this tangent, screaming about AI and basically calling everybody parasocial that would donate to this project, which is what they did. They broke the subathon record twice in one subathon. Or not the subathon record, the hype train record, twice in one subathon. This year, by the way. It was insane. I was there for both of them. It basically calls everybody like that drones. I mean, you should have called them the Swarm, because that's what they are. But he then further in this same vein went on to say that he's going to do a stream each month where he sleeps, turn on max ads, and that way he can pay his $18,000 rent. This is all coming after him saying that streaming to him is all about community and talking to your community and being a part of your community. Meanwhile, he wants to sleep on stream with max ads so that he has enough money to pay $18,000 rent. There's so many things wrong with this. Number one, the fuck are you paying $18,000 rent?
Right.
That's stupid. Like, buy the house. If you got it like that, buy the fucking house. $18K rent is insane. I know this is part of the LA clique and stuff, but to me, this is a pretty delusional take. You can't, this is the same thing, moving the goalposts. You can't on one hand say, this is bad. Why would people donate to this? And then come back and go, oh, well, I'm going to do this that's against everything I just said. Also, I want to play this for you and for the audience. I hope it comes through because I just want you to hear something here, and let's see if you notice it straight away. That's
okay.
That's enough of that.
For one, that's fucking bullshit. For two, didn't Twitch just come out with an update where you don't get paid for lurkers?
Well, yeah, but this is why he's saying something to the extent, and I don't even know if he streams on Twitch or if it's on Kick. I don't know. But they did come out and kind of do a lurker purge. But I think the consensus is that so long as it's open and got at least 1% volume, that you're considered a viewer.
Well, I can tell you,
people that put something on in the background with no volume, that they're not counting them as viewers.
It's not Kick because Kick doesn't run ads, number one. And number two, the Kick monetization, they specifically say that you will not be paid unless you are actively on screen. Like something is going on you cannot be paid for sleep streaming.
Well, there are situations on Twitch where it's okay to sleep. During subathons and stuff, a lot of people will sleep on stream. But typically they'll have friends or moderators or something like that from their chat or from their friend group come in and fill that gap. While they sleep on stream, other people will be talking and doing stuff. Iron Mouse did this a long time ago. Ludwig, who was kind of the inventor of this subathon. I don't know, maybe inventor is the wrong way to put it, but he did one of the first ones I could remember where he would sleep in his little car's bed, and then his moderators would come in and kind of entertain the chat and keep content going while he was asleep until he woke up. And so in that type of scenario, I think it's fine. But what he's talking about doing is just milking the system.
Yeah.
But that is not how. So this is the post that I made. Yeah, it says streaming is about interacting with community, then does this after FaZe collapse. It's like they don't know how to adult when bills are due. 15,600 views and almost 600 likes. So I'll show that.
But realistically, a lot of these young streamers, they don't know how to adult without fucking, Twitch and shit, because they got lucky and they came up in an era where you could just fucking stream all the time and people throw fucking money at you. And specifically people that came out of FaZe Clan, because FaZe Clan just popped up a bunch of people out of nowhere and just gave people an audience.
Well, the thing you haven't mentioned about the clip yet was, why would anybody stay around for that audio quality? For somebody that thinks they're high and mighty streamer level, deserving of living in an $18,000 a month fucking place, how do you not have a $500 microphone that doesn't do that?
Yeah.
I would spend 1 minute in that fucking stream and I would leave. I'd be like, this is fucking making my ears bleed.
Yeah, that reverb was a little fucking much.
And see, that's the bigger thing. The quality of of Vettel streams and things like that is just 10 times better than anything this dude's fucking doing. Period. And that's why people, with any community, especially in VTuber or AI land, there's going to be parasocial people that think, and a lot of people believe this, that, Neuro's real to me. And I've met these people. And, that's fine. They don't hurt anybody when they say it. I don't believe that to be the case. But for the most part, what they're doing is supporting the project. They're making sure that they can get entertainment out of this project for another year. That's the idea of a subathon, is to fund your year. And Swarm, whether they want to say it or not, is one of the most loyal and giving communities. You know, I was really nervous when I made my first Neuro reaction video. When you and I went on, I showed you the videos, then I cut it down into smaller videos. I was nervous. And with the exception of like one dude that wanted to continually point out things that I mentioned in the video.
Yeah, saying the exact same thing that you already said.
Right. Everybody was
what
extremely
you really need
wholesome.
To understand is
everybody was extremely wholesome and very welcoming, and stuff that we had questions on. People were being helpful in the comments and being like, hey, this is how they do it. Like we had the question about how they did the Vocaloid work. Like what was the process behind that? And people came in and gave us the answers. And I thought that was awesome. And I guarantee you this guy isn't going to go through with that and start being helpful to people. Now, everything I've heard about this dude is he's a fucking clown anyway. And number two, I would never watch any of the FaZe guys or former FaZe guys because to me, it's all just bullshit prank videos and stuff. It's kind of pointless. If I want to do that, I'll go back and watch Jackass because they're way funnier.
Oh,
but the bigger point is, yeah, I know they're making a new one. But
yeah.
The bigger point here is that he's calling out an entire fucking community that just went to number 3 on the all-time sub list, by the way, passing Jason Deween and Iron Mouse for most all-time sub 2 channel. There's only 2 people above Vettel in the history of Twitch. And he owns the top 3, well, him and the Neuro twins and Swarm own the top 3 hype trains ever on Twitch.
That's insane.
Yeah, and 2 of those were broken with less than 2 weeks apart.
Jesus.
Because okay, so what ended up happening is he put this out, right? And the hype train had already been broken once. And instead of Swarm going, we're going to go get this guy, we're going to create, internet drama, what did Swarm do? They started another fucking hype train and broke their own fucking record. Prove how dedicated and loyal they are to the project and to the channel, to the people that contribute to the channel. Instead of being toxic, they said, hold my beer, watch me. And then did it again. It's crazy. It's about the best way you could possibly respond. And for that, Swarm has got my utmost respect. Where it could have devolved into bullshit drama and this guy was going to get fucking clicks out of it. Instead, he gets clowned and they double down and go, nope, we're going to give him even more money to make your life more difficult. It's about as good a response as you can get.
I just think it's ridiculous every time I see a video of these fucking streamers on here begging people for money because they live in fucking $18,000 a month houses. Like you're fucking out here begging for money because you're not fucking financially responsible.
And you've got all of that and the ability to live in that, and you can't even put a little soundproofing in your fucking room. Yeah. Is that dedication to your craft? That's not dedication to your craft. This guy is also bitching about AI, and yet he made a really shitty AI poster with a prompt and said it looked great and that he would use that over something that he had drawn because it was free. So he's not even consistent.
That's the other thing that gets me is when people talk shit on one form of AI, but they're like, oh, but this one is okay. No. You can't, you can't fucking split hairs like that.
Well, it comes down to the generative AI crowd versus AI crowd, right? We've been using AI for a long fucking time. Now, there's been AI in video games for a long fucking time. It's basically the programming of the NPCs. It's been happening for a long time. Nobody ever had a problem with it. And this isn't going to be a topic for today's, I don't think. Well, maybe we might talk about it. But the art community is the worst about it. Like, absolutely the worst about it.
Yeah.
And I can, again, if we end up talking about it, we do. I'm not going to give away what I'm going to say, but especially on X, the art community is just the worst about it. Because they expect everybody to just come out and pay whatever prices they want, and they're like, fuck AI. Now, there was a bunch of shit that was going on last week where people were taking pictures that didn't belong to them and then changing them and then reposting them as their own art. And I don't agree with that at all either. I don't think that's something people should be doing. But, you know, these artists are posting these things on these sites that are obviously scraping the data for their AIs to train on.
Yeah.
And then they get mad. They get mad when they do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go to IG. And it's like, newsflash. They've been doing the same shit for years. Like, you think everything you post online isn't being scraped, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
You
terms of service for a lot of the social media companies say as soon as you post it, it's fucking public forum. Anybody can fucking use it for anything. It's not like you're making a fucking movie and someone's, you know, redoing your whole fucking movie. That's a different story.
Right. Well, I mean, the big debate is between AI and then generative AI. Like, people are okay getting help with their report from ChatGPT, but the moment you ask it to make a thumbnail for a YouTube video, it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it. It's like, you can't, again, have it both ways. You're either staunchly against it or you're okay with it. And at this point in my particular career, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't have the money to pay. If I did, I probably would, but I don't. Absolutely. Again, I don't want to give away too much on that topic, but we'll see if we circle up to that one here later.
I mean,
but yeah, this is basically was a big drama in the last few days. The subathon just ended yesterday, actually. Extraordinarily successful. The guy's at 330,000 subscribers all time now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kai Cenat's got like 1.2 million. So they got a long way to go before they get up to that. But he's number 3 all time on Twitch now. And look, it couldn't happen to a better channel, better project. He stays clean. He stays out of drama, at least as much as possible. He just a guy that originally made a bot to play Osu that evolved into something else. And it's, again, a lot of people have problems with Neuro because it's an AI. But he's sitting at the desk the whole time making sure shit behind the scenes is going on. There's never a time when the AI is just streaming and there's nobody watching it. That's not how that works. It's just not.
So, you know, speaking on generative AI and the problems that people have with it, as far as part of the arts community, leading us to our next segment, because AI, for those of you who aren't living underneath a fucking rock, musical artists obviously have been getting up in arms and all sorts of panties twisted in a fucking bunch over AI, and their argument, I feel like, has now been destroyed, because the biggest argument before wasn't necessarily that, oh, now anybody can make music and it's bullshit because I spent, you know, my whole life trying to play the fucking piano and da-da-da-da-da, which there were some of those arguments out there. But among the bigger musicians, I would say, or people that have really been doing it for a long time and use, you know, different DAWs and different programs and stuff, their thing was the fact that it scraped the internet and trained itself without musicians and other artists being paid for any of the scraping that was used to make new work. Well, within the past month, Warner Music, which is one of the big 3 music companies in the world, you got Warner, Universal, and Sony. They pretty much own fucking everything. They even own a bunch of little mini independent labels, which at that point I don't think you can really call them independent, but whatever.
If they're owned by a conglomerate, they can't be.
Yeah.
That's not how that works either.
Warner, in the end of November, announced that they had reached a deal with one of the biggest generative AI music platforms out there, Suno Music. And within this announcement, they have said that all artists that are on the Warner label, catalog, however you want to put it, which I feel like it's a label. They're lying about that. But all of those artists will have the choice to be able to opt in to let people now use their voices on their Suno songs, and those original artists get credits for it, and also for samples and anything else. They are now allowing full usage in Suno, so no copyright problems. If you want to do a cover of a song, you will now be able to take the original instrumental from the song and put it into Suno and have it remake the instrumental, so you can have your own little flavor on it and do your cover how you want, and the artist will now be compensated for it.
Well, let me ask you this question. Is it really the artists that are mad, or is it the label?
I feel like it's the labels, because a lot of the artists are signed to the labels, and the artists aren't making money. The labels are what are who gets the money. Artists get money when they first get signed. They get that initial advance that they think is,
Their big break.
Their money, but little do they know they have to pay it back.
Well, then let me ask you this question. What is the difference between AI scraping and people using and slowing down samples to put in their music without accrediting the original artist?
There's
the same thing?
Pretty much.
So one's good and the other's bad because AI bad?
Exactly. And really the biggest uproar of it was coming from the independent community, which I feel like probably not a lot of independent music was being scraped for these programs. Because why would you go to the bottom of the barrel when you're trying to make a quality program? I feel like maybe some of the other platforms out there that I've experimented with, like Udio and things like that, may have been using independent artist music because they weren't so good at generating good music.
Well, I mean, in the interest of fairness, even for something silly like my live stream or background music for a video, I can go and create AI music and there's no copyright whatsoever on it. Whereas there's the AI copyright, but they're not going to do shit about it, right? Because I basically paid for it and generated it. But if I use somebody else's music, I'm going to have to pay them my entire amount of money. So I think what this boils down to is the studio's going, oh shit, we're fucked. And people are going to start doing their own thing with zero musical ability.
And
which is what I've done for one of my playlists for my stream. It's just background ambient music that we play behind everything. It's not important. It's just something so there's a constant tone going on in the stream.
And that's the other thing is so many artists again were worried about people with no prior musical knowledge flooding music out there and it making it harder for them to be seen. At the end of the day, it just means you have to make better music, because mediocre bullshit music now literally anybody can make. So at the end of the day, I feel it pushes you as an artist to not only utilize the tool, but to step your game up, because now anybody can make mediocre bullshit. So you can't just put out mediocre bullshit and think you're going to go viral and get your life going where you're getting paid off of streams. And to be honest, if you think you're going to make a living off of getting paid for streams anyways in the music world, you're fucking up a tree without a rocking horse, because it's just not going to happen. It's so hard.
Space. The number of people that do things versus the number of people can make a living on it is ridiculous. You realize that my 153 follower Twitch channel that averages between 2 and 5 viewers per stream is in the top 20% of all of Twitch? Did I tell you that?
That's crazy.
Well, I'm technically a top 20% Twitch creator. If that doesn't tell you at 2 to 5 viewers a stream just how top heavy Twitch is, I don't know what does. I don't know what to tell you, because you're not looking at the numbers right.
So, because AI...
I made $50 last year on Twitch. That's it.
So now that they have partnered with Warner, they are now implementing things that have people freaking out because their terms of service have changed in the wording of like who owns the music and da 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 da. Now everybody's like, oh, now I'm paying you $20 a month to generate music, and now you're saying I don't even own the music and da. And there's so much nuance in the wording about, you know, it's if you use another creator's voice, if you use a fucking sample, if it's tested to be shown with a sample in it, and nowhere in there does it say that you don't own the music. It simply says the same thing that it's always said, which is we cannot guarantee copyright protection because copyright for generative AI music is not 100% settled yet. Like there's rules out there that they've tried to implement so far that's like, as long as it's, you know, not the melody or the main structure of the song coming from AI, you can copyright it. But at the end of the day, so many of these AI programs are getting so good that there's not a real way to detect if it was AI made. It's just hearsay, even with the programs that are meant to detect it. Some of these places like Suno and stuff partnered with other big tech places to put what they call audio watermark in the music. That's a frequency that you cannot hear at all, so supposedly you can't get rid of it. But if you're an actual musician, all you got to do is take those stems and re-record them in your DAW, and then there's no proof of anything that AI created anything. And a lot of these detectors, you can put stuff in that's real, and it'll say, "Oh, there's a 99% chance that's."
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that on particularly in art spaces on X. And art's another tricky one when it comes to copyright because there's multiple levels of copyright, and I think it's going to apply to music eventually. And for any artist that doesn't understand this, let me kind of, because I looked into this because there was some shit going down with artists changing their terms of service, and I looked into this because I currently do want to have a 2D model that I'm going to commission. I've already got the art, but it needs to be done into layers and blah blah blah. So at some point I'm going to commission this, but and that's only because I couldn't find an AI program to do it. It's just not there yet. If I draw, let's say you draw a picture, okay? You have what's basically a ownership copyright. That is an individual little copyright that you own the image. All right. Now, if I take that image and I say that it's mine and you take me to court, nothing's going to happen. Because even though you may be able to prove that it's your image, you don't have it registered with DMCA. DMCA covers a lot of shit, including music. So basically, there's two levels of copyright. There's your personal copyright, and then there's the copyright that is understood under the law. This is why DMCA needs to be rewritten worse than ever. Because DMCA is so fucking outdated, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I agree with this point, when a company decides we're going to change our terms of service, and now anything you posted 2 years ago, we can scrape for AI usage. That should not be the case. You should not be able to retroactively do a change to terms of service from things that were already posted or things that were already created, including music and stuff like that. Going forward, fine, that's the policy. But you shouldn't be able to go back. And a lot of artists seem to think that this doesn't apply to them, because not a lot. There was a few. I shouldn't say a lot. There was a few that they would make art or a model or fan art or whatever it might have been for somebody, and then they went online and said something that the artist didn't agree with. And then the artist would, after the things were bought and paid for, come back and say, yeah, I don't want you to use my shit anymore. I'm changing my terms of service so that you can't ever use this again. I own it. I'll take you to court. And that's not how it works once you've sold something. So think about it like this. I go buy the Mona Lisa. Okay? The Mona Lisa is now hanging on my wall in my house. I own the Mona Lisa. I do not own the copyright to the Mona Lisa. The original artist owns the copyright to the Mona Lisa, not me. But I still control how the image is used because I bought and paid for it. And that's why DMCA needs to be reworked in a nutshell.
Yeah.
because
Copyright in
and they
general.
can't come back and say, well, we don't like that you put that on your stream, and we're going to say you can't do it. They don't have that right because it was sold.
Yep.
That's why it needs to be reworked. And that's why I was looking into it, because it's like, I hire one of these motherfuckers and they catch the podcast and I say something they don't agree with, they're going to be like, you can't use my art anymore. It's like, no, fuck you. I fucking bought this. That's why I was looking into it. I've had a couple of reasonable, believe it or not, reasonable, intelligent conversations with people that didn't understand how the difference between your individual copyright or IP and then DMCA. They don't realize it's multi-layered.
So basically, the way a good lawyer that I follow as far as music and stuff is concerned, it's she goes by Top Music Attorney on YouTube. Check her out, aka Miss Crystal. She's also a musician. The way she explains copyright law, because that's one of the things she specializes in, is yes, as soon as you create anything, you automatically own the IP, the copyright for it. As long as you can, you've got the first creation. There's all sorts of metadata now with everything that's created that timestamps it and stuff that can't be ill-refuted. But basically, unless you take it and federally copyright it, you have no protections. Like,
correct. And that is
anybody
DMCA.
could now take that and use it, and you could go to court and be like, oh, that's mine. True, it's yours, but you didn't file with copyright. So this person can also do whatever the fuck they want with it. They can't sue you. They can't turn around and sue you because it's your creation. So you can't be sued, and you can continue to use whatever you created. But unfortunately, if you didn't copyright it, someone who's better at marketing or better at whatever could now use your creation and blow up off of it. And then people turn around and think that you're the copycat, when in all actuality, it's your creation. But because you didn't want to spend the $35.99 or whatever it is, file copyright with the federal government, you have no protection. Like, you can never be sued for it for your own creation, but you also can't sue anybody else for it.
Right, and you can't retroactively make any of those claims either.
Yes.
So once this claim comes up, you can't then go back and say, well, I'm registering it with the DMCA, and then go back for something that happened prior to registration and say, this is how it is. That's not how that works either.
Yeah, you can't do that shit.
I mean, all in all, basically, DMCA covers a lot of shit, and it really needs to be reworked. Like, let's not pretend for a minute that I'm listening to, I don't know, Pearl Jam, right, on stream. Let's not pretend for a minute that somebody's not going to come in and go, damn, that's a good song. Who is that? And I go, Pearl Jam. That's free advertisement. They know this. But they're going to make more money by claiming copyright on it than they would from, or at least they think they are, than from a big creator that's using the music and promoting it. And again, music is a really slippery slope, which is why, like I said, I made that almost 4-hour generated fucking track just because it can never be copyrighted. Because there's no ownership for anybody but me. And it was a very simple prompt. It was a lot of work, but it was a very simple prompt. And this way I've just got something, and again, it's not even all that important. It's not that big of a deal. It's just something that plays in the background, so there's ambient noise in my stream. It's that simple. And yet I will never go in and they'll say, portions of this were muted. Did you know that the other day on Twitch, I was playing Long Dark story mode, and they've got a song at the very beginning of it that's like, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old now. That's kind of like the theme for getting into the story mode. Twitch muted that part of the VOD and claimed that it was copyrighted material. And see, this is kind of the same thing, because they're saying, well, we sold the rights to the game to use it, but we didn't sell those rights to you. Yeah. It should be implied that I get the rights when I buy the game.
Yeah.
But there's certain games that you can't play the audio track on. Spider-Man's one of them. GTA is another one, because they're using copyrighted music.
Yeah.
And if you use it, even though you bought and paid for the game, you didn't pay for the rights to the music. GTA did, even though I paid for GTA. DMCA needs to be reworked.
Yeah, and that's also that whole thing, streaming they're still trying to figure out where it fits into technically sync licensing, because anytime music is put to video, it becomes now a different type of licensing, as far as it's not even copyright, it's sync license, which is just having permission to use the audio. It's the whole fucking area is just ridiculous, honestly.
The understanding used to be that you couldn't just use a song and play it all the way through, because that could serve as a substitute for the original work.
Yeah, because somebody could just clip your shit and then not ever go listen to the song or download it.
But that has, and with all the React channels and stuff now, like that's why I'm really careful with what I react to, is people that aren't necessarily copywriting their music. And I'm able to go in and listen to the song, because I like to listen to the whole song and then give my feedback, because I don't want to interrupt the artist's work. But technically, I'm taking a pretty big risk by doing that, by not stopping the music in the middle and saying what I want to say, because I'm not transforming the song itself in any way. I'm making transformative content, but I'm not transforming the song. So luckily, the people that I do the reactions to, they're not doing copyrighted music.
Yeah,
which is excellent. Which is excellent, because they want those people to interact with their music and get more eyes on it. They understand the benefit of promotion, and they're paying nothing for it.
Yeah.
Whereas these big bands or whatever, and these big fucking studios, come on. Well, this song had a clip from it, or a fucking sample from it from back in the fucking 60s. Did you pay that family? No. It's the same shit. What's good for thee, but not for me.
Yeah.
I don't buy that shit.
So, speaking of learning new things, since you talked about you went down in that deep fucking rabbit hole of copyright for artistry, did you know, because I was today years old when I found out that the Toblerone chocolate packaging has a picture of a bear on it? Did you know that?
No, I don't think I've ever had a Toblerone. I've seen them. I don't think I've ever had one.
So
is that a hot take? is that a hot take, or is that pretty mild?
I don't know. I honestly
I've heard they're good.
I can't remember if I've ever actually eaten one. I know I've seen them, but only when I was like a little kid. Like I haven't seen one in recent years. Like my mom and my stepdad used to keep one in the freezer every now and then, or my grandma. I don't know if I've ever actually eaten one though. But,
Oh, grandma's house was always the meme hard candies, bro. Just saying.
Oh, cream savers and those little strawberry fucking candies with the...
I'm a little older. We got like cinnamon discs and peppermints, and every once in a while you knew they had some money because they had the Werther's Originals out. Like but it was always hard candy. It was always hard candy.
So yeah, in the spirit of this section, I was today years old. I was just, browsing this website, and there's actually a couple on here that I thought were pretty interesting, but this one really stood out to me because I don't know if it's my vision or what, but every time I've ever seen this packaging, all I ever saw was the mountain. And when I read this, it said, my son had his first Toblerone today, and he said, "What's the bear for?" And I replied, "What bear?" And I stared at this image for, I kid you not, a good probably 5 to 6 minutes before I saw the bear.
Okay,
I was like,
minute.
There's no fucking bear on this picture. What are you talking about?
What? Wait a minute. What is the effect that is? Hang on. The Mandela effect. That's the one where it's been there the whole time, and people never saw it, and yet they would swear up and down that it was never there.
Right. Kind of.
Something changed on something.
But this is one of those instances where I can't guarantee you that bear's never been there, because I don't have a fond, like, I didn't eat these things every day, unlike the Berenstein Bears. That's an ingrained memory from first grade. When those books first fucking came out. It's not Berenstain. That's bullshit. So yeah, I guess it would kind of be like a Mandela effect for some people, but I never noticed the bear.
Hang on, let me. So this is just like the dude on the Camel packs of cigarettes that was holding his dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I'm with you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it every time now. But when I first saw this and that caught me, I was like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, I was trying to look like on the side of the triangle, like on the side of the packaging. I was like, maybe they just didn't take a good picture of it before I finally realized that the bear is inside that mountain.
Yep, this is exactly like the fucking dude on the Camel pack holding his wiener. It's 100% there too. Like, it's got to be deliberate. There's no way somebody approved that, and then once somebody said, "Hey, this kind of looks like this," they didn't change it. They did it for a reason.
Yeah,
because it was funny and caused conversation. It was free promo.
Oh. So that was, something I found that I was today years old when I learned there's a bear on the Toblerone package.
I'm gonna have to go find one of those in real life now and just fucking stare at it, and just have to do it over at Dollar General or something. Be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Be like, "Bro, there's a bear in this shit."
You didn't know about the bear? Come on, man! Everybody knows about the bear.
Bro, let me show you the Camel pack real quick. I'm telling you, it's there. You'll never unsee it. I got a quick one up on Twitter if you want to. Well, that's about as well as I can frame that one. I think you can see it all. The Falcons. This is the NFL thing, okay? And I didn't even know this was possible. The Falcons were eliminated from the playoffs on December 7th and finished tied for first in their division.
Huh?
I didn't even know this was possible. I think it's because it was a losing record and they're in a division with the Panthers, I think. And the Panthers ended up going through to the playoffs as the only team from their division as the division winner because maybe they beat Atlanta. But then it's possible through common opponents that Atlanta got to the same record. The part for me that's really mind-blowing is they were eliminated on December 7th, meaning it was already said and done. Like, had this quote said they were eliminated on the last day, but they were tied for first, it doesn't make it as impactful. This one, it just catches me very off base.
Yeah.
You can be tied for first in your division, which granted is most likely a losing record.
Make the playoffs.
Well, no. It's most likely a losing record. Just because you're tied for first in your division or whatever it might be, technically there is no tie for the division win. Somebody wins the division based on common opponents or head-to-head or whatever tiebreaker they use to determine who the division winner is going to be. So record-wise, they tied for first in the division. But most likely Carolina beat them twice or some shit like that is what happened. But they were both like 7-9 or something like that. Is basically what it comes down to.
That's crazy.
But it just blows my mind that they were eliminated on the 7th and then still got back to being record tied for the division. I didn't even know that was possible. I knew it was possible to be tied for the division lead and not make the playoffs. That's pretty common. Because not two teams from each division make it to the playoffs. It's only 7 teams per entire league or conference that make it to the playoffs. So, yeah, it struck me odd that they were eliminated that quickly. So basically, they were eliminated because they were just that far out, and then they went on a tear and won the rest of their games. Is kind of what happened here. I don't know. It was just one of those today years old kind of things.
That just makes me say, what the fuck is even that?
Oh, boy.
Just so happens to be the name of pretty much our final segment for the day, which is, what the fuck is even that? Just something that was inspired by the pre-Silent Part podcast shows that we did, where we had a discussion about a picture of a loaf of bread, and somebody said that both end pieces, or one end piece stays in the bag till it meets the other end piece.
Yes.
And then it gets thrown away or something, is what somebody said.
Yes. We're not going to do that one today, but it was, I don't even think I still got it bookmarked. If I'm
Yes, that's what inspired this segment.
It was basically, I won't change my mind on this, and that is that the first heel of the bread stays in the bag until it meets the other heel, and then both go in the trash. And I had never once in my life thought about that, but I don't think I've ever pulled out a single heel first before it meets the other heel.
Yeah.
This isn't what we're talking about today.
No, that's just what inspired it.
Correct. We're talking about something very, very different today. Today, it's a Star Wars themed situation. And what this comes down to is the absurdity of circumstance in movies. Okay. Before I read this one out,
Yeah.
think about like Independence Day and just the number of circumstantial things that had to happen for all of those people who knew each other in certain ways to all end up in the same place in the end. It's just ridiculous. The pure level of utter circumstance that had to happen. Right? So this one is along those lines. And it's Star Wars themed. Oh, hang on. Can I get it all in there? Sort of. I'll read the last line last. Han Solo showed up on Vader's Death Star hours after Alderaan was destroyed. This is fact from A New Hope, Episode 4. On his ship, he carried Vader's son, Luke, Vader's daughter, Leia, Vader's astromech, R2-D2, the protocol droid Vader built as a kid, C-3PO, the Wookiee who saved Ahsoka, which is Chewbacca, and literally Obi-Wan Kenobi, back from the quote-unquote dead. Vader must have been very, who in the Mustafar was that fucker in the vest? Then something like a day later, he sneaks up on Vader, one of the greatest pilots the galaxy has ever seen, in what is essentially a heavy modified 18-wheeler, and shoots him in the ass.
People who don't know Star Wars are not gonna fucking understand how fucking great this is. They're just gonna be like, what the fuck is even that?
The level of circumstance, right? that the person, okay, look, the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke thing, totally believable. It's been explained in the story that Obi-Wan was kind of looking over Luke's upbringing on the Lars farm. So it's understandable that those two would connect. It is utterly ridiculous that the people that make them connect is the astromech droid and the droid C-3PO, who Vader built as a child.
Yeah.
And then it's even more absurd that the mission they're going on is to save his sister he knows nothing about, being Leia. Well, technically Leia wasn't on the Millennium Falcon when it got to the Death Star, but she was on the Death Star. So, therefore, this still applies. Right? He didn't carry on his ship Vader's daughter. Vader's daughter was already on the Death Star. The people on the ship were going to get her and save her. But literally, the two droids, fucking Obi-Wan, who was Darth Vader's fucking, master Jedi. And Vader would know all of these people except for the guy in the fucking vest. Who in the Mustafar was that fucker in the vest?
Yep.
How in the fuck did he sneak up on a nimble-ass fucking modified fucking TIE fighter in an 18-wheeler type, like, freighter and shoot him in the ass and be like, go ahead, kid, blow it, let's go home. And then using none of his scopes, just the Force, he manages to do what no other pilot in the galaxy could have possibly done, and bullseye a womp rat at 3 meters. Like, what the actual fuck?
I mean, Luke is the son of the best fucking pilot in the fucking world, galaxy.
Okay, look, for the educated and cultured among you, you're going to tell me that this was the Force that brought all of these people together. And I can tell you I will accept your opinion. However, the amount of fucking circumstance in this fucking post is absurd.
Right, because it's not even a planet. It's the entire fucking galaxy.
Just the amount of all of it is so absurd. This one I don't think is as egregious as the shit from Independence Day. Like, man, I could go off on half an hour about how Independence Day is just that fucked up. Like the guy is going to marry a woman, right, who happens to be a stripper in LA. He also happens to be the captain and leader of the fucking Black Knights fighter squadron that's the first responders to go and try to shoot down the fucking alien ships. And then he gets fucking basically shot down, ends up at Area 51. The president, who's probably going to end up at Area 51 anyway, ends up over there, but in the process of him trying to get his wife, who was in LA, oddly enough, back over to him, her helicopter gets shot down. Who finds the president's wife in LA? Oh, that's right. It's the fucking woman that Will Smith was gonna fucking marry. And now somehow, some way, this woman ends up with the fucking first lady, and they both make it back to fucking Area 51. How in the what the fuck plotline is this happening?
By the powers of movie magic.
I get it. It's a sci-fi movie. It's not supposed to make all sense. Like, I get it. But, like, just the sheer ridiculousness of it all. Of all the people that are still alive in LA after the attacks, she happens to be the one person that finds the first lady.
Of course.
And it just happens to be the quote-unquote best pilot that's going to end up leading the fucking mission to go up to space and destroy the fucking aliens once and for all. Like, are you out of your mind with this writing?
But in the end, it's the disgraced.
In the end,
it's the disgraced Air Force pilot now turned crop duster that saves the world because he flies his plane up the alien's asshole.
Correct. Hello, boys. I'm back. At least we not forget. Oh, and somehow they ended up at Area 51. Randomly.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck, man? Like, I get it. It's a movie, and it was an entertaining movie. But like, there is more plot holes in that shit than ever it was in Star Wars. But still, that ship was loaded with all-star talent. To go rescue more all-star talent.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah. The coincidences are ridiculous in that one. So we thought we'd end on something a little bit funnier today, because it is what it is. Like, sometimes you can talk about some serious stuff, and I think it's also important to make sure that we laugh in between.
Exactly. We can't just be serious the whole time, because then it's just too much. The world's already a fucking giant dumpster fire. And
I don't think it's getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah, just like that meme I showed. We're just throwing fucking dirt on it at this point. Nobody's getting the water because everybody's too busy arguing. Everybody's just throwing dirt on it.
With a broken leg, walk it off.
Yeah, just throw what you can at it. It'll go out.
Again, the point here, guys, is that we can talk about stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be an argument. We can have civil discourse. We can have disagreements. We can talk about the silent part that people just don't talk about anymore. People are way too right or left. They're too much up or down, too much black and white. There needs to be these. Oh my God,
I'm going to get canceled.
Like, I saw a post the other day that said, watch, people will argue about anything. And then posted and said, this is a glass of water. And it was literally a glass of water. And people in the comments were like, it's only half full. I'm like, are we just that starved for something?
Jesus Christ.
Really? Are we really just that starved?
There's probably somebody that was like, that's not water, it's vodka.
That was one of my first thoughts. Like, how do we know it's water? I answered a post yesterday for a guy, he posted a stupid little riddle, right? And I usually don't respond to shit like this because it's not even all that mind-bending. But he said there's 7 people in a room. You walk in and you tell 4 people to leave. How many people are in the room? And I said 4, and he goes, wrong. And I go, how is that wrong? He goes, because you left the room too. And I said, no, you never said I left the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never said I left the room. You said 4 people left the room. And then I entered the room, meaning there's 4 people in the room. Right. Nope, that's wrong. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. This is why I don't respond to shit like this. But it just goes to show you people will argue about anything. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence that they worded the question wrong, they will still defend themselves. At the end of the day, what can you do, right? All you can do is try to find a platform and try to find a space where we can have civil fucking discussions. And again, guys, number 1, vote on meme of the week. I win. I know I win. I know I'm going to win. It's meme of the week. We're not going to have much of an audience the first few weeks, which is fine.
Because I want to see it again.
You want me to pull it back up?
Yeah, pull it back up. I want to see it again.
Yeah,
it's fucking good.
Oh, wait, I can't blow it up. Keep saying, like, yeah, it's back up.
Oh, shit.
But you got to inject some humor with some of these tough topics. And I think topics are going to get a little bit tougher going forward because there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now.
Oh, absolutely. We had to come in kind of soft for the first episode.
A little flaccid.
A little flaccid. Can't come in full hard right off the bat.
Everyone knows you don't go full hard. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Oh, shit.
Because even though I can use the word in that instance, I still choose to do typical. You know, not everything has to devolve into a fucking name-calling, shouting match. There's going to be times when you and I disagree on something, and that's never going to be what happens here.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna, you know, in the end, we'll probably agree to disagree, but I think we'll hear each other's points and be like, okay, I get what you're saying. I don't agree with you, but I get what you're saying. And I think if more people could do that, then we could just start to get past a lot of the really stupid shit that goes on in the world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point of what we're trying to do with Silent Part. So if you guys like that, subscribe, hit the like, share it, and for sure leave us a comment, specifically meme of the week, or any of the other topics that we covered today. We're happy to have discussion with you guys, but keep it civil and everything will be okay.
Absolutely. And with that being said, that finishes our first official episode of The Silent Part.
We've been looking forward to this for years, man. I love it.
I have been Fortaelle, and my co-host.
Well, I'm not going to say I have been Jester because I will always be Jester. That's our first disagreement. Are we having a fight, sweetheart?
So until next week.
Bye.
There you go. I was gonna try. I was gonna say something, but the only thing that came to my mind was stay classy, and I can't Ron Burgundy it.
Well, look, man. I wasn't sure if that was the cue or if that was what. We got to work on our timing. Jesus Christ, we're not comedians.